Welcome to another installment of me responding to fascinating comments that people left on a video where I talked about why I don't believe most men want to be fathers. It's starting some fascinating conversations that I personally love, enjoy, relish in, and want to continue into larger spaces. This comment is one of those. So let's just dive in. Oh, but before we do, hi, my name is Shayna. I am happily, joyfully, peacefully child-free, and I'm spreading the gospel. Because more people need to be discussing this. Also, I'm a full-time food and travel journalist, so if you ever need recommendations on where to go, why to go there, I also love astrology. So if you ever want to talk about that, I got you. Anyway, let's dive into this. But I need to make myself smaller so that way we could read along. Rose 11 says, from what I've noticed, a lot of men aren't interested in the physical raising of children, like feeding, changing diapers, or giving baths. I will say there are a great number of men that are useful when it comes to discipline and providing structure for the child, but some men don't even care to do that. Let us discuss. Because Rose, I don't think that you're wrong. And I did mention in my, I screenshot this before I left my comment, but my comment is there. But I don't think that you're wrong so much as I'm curious about what actual discipline and structure look like that the majority of these men are providing their children, families, etc. But let's start from the top down, because I 100% agree with the first comment. I don't think that the majority of men are interested in the physical part of child rearing, especially the things that have to be more hands-on, that aren't the playing, that aren't the I'll pick up the baby and put it down. Yeah, like the things that are cooking, changing diapers, feeding the baby, giving the baths, the day-to-day maintenance of children. I don't think most men are interested in that. I think that a lot of men see the babies as a fun plaything that looks kind of like them and giggle sometimes. But the moment it poops, it's, where's your mom? Some of the most upsetting videos that I've seen of marriage humor content, which is a whole other thing. I hate it so much. If you want me to rant about that, let me know. But a lot of the videos of marriage humor when it comes to kids is just men interrupting women having time for themselves because they're done with being fathers. For example, there's this one video of this this mother who just wanted to take a shower. She just wanted to take a shower and have some time for herself because she was with the baby all day. And dad was just on the couch with the baby watching a game or something. She comes back. As soon as she comes back, he hands her the baby, one hand. Oh, look, your mom is here. She didn't even have time to eat. And the way that he just had the baby with one hand, just please, just take it. I'm done. That's your baby. You're not babysitting. That's your child. You are raising your child. You're not a babysitter. You're a father. But a lot of these men don't see it that way. It's unfortunate. And so let's just move on to the greater part of this. I will say that there are a great number of men that are useful when it comes to discipline and providing structure for the child. My big question is, what does healthy, gentle, holistic discipline and structure look like for a child in a man who is not emotionally sound, who is not emotionally intelligent, for a man who is not doing the work on himself to be even keel, who is not, let me figure out the best wording for this. If a man has not done the work, the emotional, psychological work on himself to be the healthiest version of himself, not just physical strength, not just paying the bills, but to be an active, loving, present father, if he has not done the emotional and psychological work to do that for himself, what does that discipline and structure actually look like? Does it look like a lot of yelling? Does it look like a lot of impatience? Does it look like a lot of short-temperedness? because that's not structure or discipline. And I don't know a lot of men that are doing the work to provide the actual, because discipline doesn't have to be hard. Structure doesn't have to be rigid. Things don't have to hurt for them to be good. Like, and as somebody that's an astrology girly, like discipline and structure are very Saturn based, right? And Saturn is ruled by Capricorn and Aquarius. And when I think about how these kinds of things come into play, like Aquarius is very understanding. It's very communally based. Aquarius is the water bringer. And yes, there are structures in place, but there are structures in community. Everybody has a role. And you have to understand your role to be able to create the structure needed for a healthy community, a healthy home. And you think about Capricorn, which is like canonically considered the father, right? And yeah, there's a lot of, I was actually talking about this with somebody else in a different video comment section, but like Capricorn loves goals. It loves getting things done. Capricorn is practical. And it doesn't necessarily, it's not coming in with that Aries kind of fire. Aries is ruled by Mars. Saturn is structure and discipline. And it's generally not, it's not all over the place. It's grounded. It knows who it is, what it is, and it might have a hard time explaining that to other people, especially high Aquarius energy. But like, there's a base level of understanding that has to happen internally first before it could manifest externally. And that goes for fatherhood. You don't just wake up one day and have all the skills that you need to be a good parent. No, there's skills. Like, you don't just wake up one day and you're like, I'm a plumber now. No. So I'm not saying that this is incorrect. I'm not saying that that last part is incorrect. I'm just curious if that was a part of what you were talking about. Because I don't think a lot of men in a holistic kind of way, healthy kind of way, have the internal discipline and the internal structure. A disciplined man is sexy. A man who is self-controlled is sexy. A man who does not fall to any random impulse. A man who creates boundaries for himself so that way he can be the best person that he needs to be for himself. Hot. And if he can do that for himself, it will be harder, but he could also, it shows that he has the tools to do that in community, like a family, like for children, freshies, new people. If he can provide structure for himself, that's at least evidence that he could do that for other people without beating himself up, without self-deprecating humor, without going towards like drugs, alcohol, without like, mind you, I enjoy a fun time also, but it's not a crutch. I don't think most men have this capability. To be fair, I've met a couple, and I'm a journalist. It's my job to meet people around the world. Meeting people is my job, and I've met a couple of men that fall into this category. And I don't want to put my body at risk for somebody that I am not 100% sure of. Now, I also don't want to have kids for other reasons, but I just found this very interesting within the child-free conversation. So if anybody has any thoughts, please, let's discuss in the comments. Also, do not forget to like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And I have a meeting in like 15 minutes, so I'm gonna be back.